My group chose Terrance James O'Rourke as our famous deaf individual. My name is Monica Quinn, and my group members' names are Labrisha Lee and Chardonnay Mack. TJ was born in Washington on April 17, 1932. Before his 11th birthday, he came down with a case of spinal meningitis which deafened him. He graduated high school from the California School for the Deaf in Berkeley. He then majored in education and minored in English at Gallaudet University, where he graduated from in 1953. From 1953 to 1962, he was a high school teacher at the North Dakota School for the Deaf, the North Carolina School for the Deaf, and at the Kendall Demonstration School. From 1962 to 1968, he returned to Gallaudet to teach as an English professor. While as a professor, he did his postgraduate work. His postgraduate work was done at Catholic University in Washington.
In 1967, the National Association of the Deaf received a grant, which was designing healthy environments at work to start a series of sign language classes, which was the Communicative Skills Program, known as the CSP. And they were actively involved with the National Association of the Deaf. From 1967 to 1978, TJ served as the Communicative Skills Program's National Director. He was the head of the establishment of sign language programs in schools, colleges, and agencies across the nation, which then led to a formal recognition of ASL as a foreign language. And then he then became an internationally recognized expert on sign language. In 1970, the National Association of the Deaf published the first edition of his nation's all best time-selling sign language text, which is a basic course in manual communication. Then he also founded the Sign Instructors Guidance Network, known as SIGN, which later became the Independent American Sign Language Teachers Association.
In 1978, Mr. TJ left the Communicative Skills Program and started his own publishing company known as TJ Publishers, which specialized in American Sign Language and deaf culture media. In 1980, with the help of Tom Humphries and Carol Patton, they all wrote the book, a basic course in American Sign Language. And if you click on the link below, it will take you to Mr. TJ's publishing website.
In 1982, TJ was the first deaf person to write the cost of captioning of an entire TV show, known as the Perry Como Christmas Special. Later in 1989, the networks were convinced to add closed captioning to their entire primetime lineups. He was also the founder of the Caption Club. In 1981, his company had a projected income of $2 million.
TJ's marriage to Betty O'Rourke ended in divorce. They had three children: Terrance Patrick O'Rourke, Michael Kevin O'Rourke, and Kathleen O'Rourke King. Later, he married Robin Byers O'Rourke. He maintained homes in El Paso and Silver Spring. In 1992, at the age of 59, he passed away from a fatal heart attack in Silver Springs, Maryland. TJ was a deaf rights advocate and activist. Because of TJ, we now have TV sets with built in caption decoder chips, more captioning, and more awareness. He left an indelible imprint on American history and the life of deaf community throughout the nation and the world. He worked with linguistics of American Sign Language, which ultimately led to formal recognition of ASL as a foreign language. He worked in the field of equal civil rights for all disabled Americans, including the deaf. He was a major force in getting legislation passed by Congress, Sec- Section 504, guaranteeing those rights. The Americans with Disabilities Act was an outgrowth of that regulation. And here are our sources.